welcome you to this communication webinar, session number 3. So if you were with us past Tuesday, basically you spent all the Tuesdays of December with us. Thank you for that. Let me start by saying good morning, Central Europe. Good morning, communications enthusiasts. We are very happy to have you here and to join our webinar today. And as we have a tight schedule, because in 2 hours, we basically want to manage 2 quite separate topics, let me straight away start with sharing my slides. And I hope you can see them right. So stories with favor, building engagement through social media. This is the topic of today. As I've been already mentioning, we already had 2 webinars, 2 sessions of this communications training, tailor-made for second call projects. But in the audience, we also have first call projects and everyone who is interested in communications. All seminars are recorded, so this one has started to recording right now already, and you can rewatch the webinars if you missed something or if you want to rewatch something that was very important to you. For these 2 hours and what awaits you, I have this little agenda prepared. So basically we will have 2 topics really put together, and we try to link it in the most effective way, because we believe that stories matters for your projects when you tell and when you speak about your projects, as well as we believe that social media is central. So there will be an interactive input at the start. We will have a little exercise for you in a breakout room session where we will craft a little story of a project. And for the second part, the social media part, we have actually invited 3 projects. So my name is Dana Kaszczakova. I am communication manager at the Interreg Central Europe Secretariat. And together with me for the second session, there will be Zsofia Kocic on behalf of the Smart Circuit project, Maciej Apuhalo-Matica on behalf of OPTI-UP project, and Zrinka Marchioli for the SUSTANCE project. 2 of those are first call projects, so they have already some experience. So we are always noticing what you do in social media, and this is how we did. So we invited these 3 speakers to join us. But don't worry, there will be also time for you if you have good practices, what you do in social media. This is also a peer learning exercise for everyone, so it should be also a space where you share your good practice. But then let me start by a Slido. You already are familiar with a Slido from other presentation of ours. So we like to interact with you, and it seems that it's working quite well. And as we are having a session on storytelling and social media, I was wondering what really caught you in the recent few days or weeks in social media. So what really made you stop scrolling through your feed in social media? You can join Slido at scanning the QR code or entering a Slido with the hashtag #CStories. This Slido we will use throughout the whole webinar, so please go and have a look. We either have an option of a video, specifically a video of a cat, a dog, or any pet that you might have. We have a video of people. I was thinking maybe about the TikTok style, or people simply explaining, telling you a story. But we also see that the newspapers are using social media for the articles. So maybe it was an article teaser, or maybe it was a picture, and usually pictures that we interact with, it seems, is that people of picture of people you know, or a picture that you simply look for yourself, so including you. So I'm waiting a bit. We have more than 40 participants in the meeting webinar, and I have 23 hours. And I can see that indeed a video of a cat, dog, or pet in a general is something what really stopped you from scrolling. Nice, indeed. Cats and dogs, I believe you throughout the presentation, there will be at least one cat and one dog jumping at you from my presentation. So you confirm that maybe the choice of ours was also right. Thank you for this. Please keep the Slido tab also open on your device. It can be a mobile phone, or it can be a PC. But let me then continue with why. If you attended all our webinars, there was also an important message that when you communicate, you should start with why, following the advice of Simon Sinek. So we were wondering, why do we actually need the storytelling? And the picture I'm actually showing you now, we showed last year at the physical communication webinar for a physical communication seminar then for First Call projects. It is about people being constantly busy. I mean, when I was commuting to work today, this morning in the metro, which was quite full, I could count that 4 people out of everyone in this wagon were on the phone, the one or the other way. So it's really a important tool, let's put it that way, that really grabs our attention and inspire people to take actions too. So this is indeed still valid picture. But what I want to add also for this year is that we need stories that really stick. And throughout my presentation, throughout our input, we are trying to work with this, how these stories really evolve, how you really get this engagement, and how you really make your story stick. And I have a video attached to this very slide that I would like to play with you now. Let me see.
Oh, my life is changing every day in every possible way.
So you recognize these people, I believe. It's Elon Musk and Giorgia Meloni on the occasion of reopening of Notre Dame Cathedral. They met again, and the press was already before they met again, kind of conspiring whether they like each other that much, what's their relationship. And a deep look into their eyes actually resulted in this. This is a video of a kiss. But this kiss is actually a fake one. It was made artificially, so it's also saying you a message about how artificial intelligence can be used and what it manages. But nevertheless, I believe that it doesn't matter whether the video is fake or not. What is important is that it is a tool that tells a story, and this storytelling is definitely a tool that brings you more of interesting and engaging results. So what my question for the next few minutes will be, and what I would like to show you then also by using the video, is what makes the story stick. But before I start the video, I would like to remind you, or what we really think, why this, coming back to why this storytelling is important, is that stories are memorable. Remember this first slide when I asked you, what do you remember as a post that really stopped you from scrolling, that was memorable to you? So stories are memorable. We really are attracted to story that if it is about a human, but not necessarily has to be about a human, because also in your project you probably have different technical issues, but they are human related. So in one or the other way, they impact or affect people. So this is also an important way why we think that the stories are important and why we need to use them also in our communications. And last but not least, three things come together. Stories are there to make your audience act. So you want to make them act. And these are the three important elements that you will see also throughout this presentation again. So I told you, and I promised you, there will be an example of a story, there will be a picture, there will be a video. So here it is, my cat. When I actually was in a conversation of my colleague and remembering what was said, I asked her, like, what do you remember from the presentation we did last year for the communication seminar? She said cat. I remember this cat. So it indeed is an element of our communication that sticks. So it makes you memorable. You probably will be not using cats and dogs in simple pictures of in your project communication, but indeed it is an attractive element, and you have to think of what attracts your audience. And this is your job as a communicators to create a very nice context. So what we are doing in our job is looking for elements of a great story. And this is also the motif of my presentation about the storytelling in the next couple of minutes. And the elements of a great story based on the picture you have seen, you can see that there was a cat. So the story had a character, right? It was a nice cat. You could probably relate to it. You can maybe feel her fear, and it had some emotions even with you. What you could even get from the picture was the setting. So the cat was maybe a criminal. That this is my interpretation because of a mugshot that I got, and maybe she has done something that was not really okay. But what I want to show you now, and when I ask you also in this first slide, was what is your most memorable content or type of content in social media, and you said video. So in I split the story in few parts. It's the video, it's a J story, okay? So let me share this video. It will be the first sequence of 30 minutes, and I might ask you something in the next slide. So please pay attention.
It's the Tottenham boys making all the noise. We are the Tottenham boys. I'm proud to be English. My family have served and we've defended this country and we've been to war for this country. So I know I'm English. My parents and grandparents have told me I'm English, so I don't see there being any other option for me to be anything else other than English.
So what makes you, do you think, English?
The fact that I was born in England. The fact that my parents were born in England, the fact that my nan and granddad were born in England. That's my nan and granddad. Both served in the army, like I said, Navy, Royal Navy, they were both in. Me in the middle, with my older brother to the left. And
Okay, so we have J, right? So can you recognize the character of the story that will evolve? Anyone? You just open the mic if you like, and you tell me what you see. So I would like to know who is the main character. Was it clear from the first 30 seconds, or do you think we have to wait for another 2 minutes because this video is a bit longer? Could you grasp the main character? Okay, I could. It was a man. It was a human story. So his name is Jay, and he is very proud to be British. The second element that we can probably grasp from this video is the setting. So he is in an interview situation, right? Probably we don't know more yet. So this is the first 30 seconds. I would like to continue with the next part.
Think about other countries and other nationalities in the world. Are there any that you don't feel you you get on with well or you won't like particularly?
Germany.
Which nationalities?
Germany. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Germans.
Why is that? Like,
Well, probably, if you ask me, through my parents, my grandparents, it probably date back to the war.
How do you feel about going on a journey based on your DNA?
What could you possibly tell me that I don't know?
I need you to spit in this tube for me, up to the little squiggly line. Right, the story of you is in that tube. What's it going to tell me?
You're going to tell me that I'm English, like I've told you.
So now we know the characters. Now we got even more of the story. So we have the important element, I would say, of a story, which is the challenge. What would you say is the challenge for Jay right now in this particular situation, sitting in this interview type of setting? Anyone?
The fact that that he is an Englishman might be questioned because he's very proud to be English.
Absolutely, yes, Yasmin, thank you. He is very proud to be English, and his approach to how he feels about it is probably questioned. And I would say that this is also the challenge is the DNA test. So he will do a DNA test, and this is the whole point of this video. And the challenge is obviously there. The elements that we even saw in both of the parts of these videos was an action. So there was an action, he was showing pictures, he made this conversation lively through also how he expressed, I believe, that the fact that he is English, that he has been in war for this country and his family is very strong. And this is something that is really there and important for the story, I believe. So let's have a look how the story evolves. And I have to say that this part of the video shoot took 2 weeks later when the DNA test arrived. So let's have a look what comes out of the test.
You ready?
Not really, but I'm here now, so...
Read those out to us then, Jay.
Ireland, 55%. Great Britain, 30%. Can we... 5% German. And did you just put Turkey in there to wind me up?
No!
Germany. Oh, Germany. I told you I wouldn't want to be German or Turkish, and I'm both of them.
We're both of those things, yeah.
So, yeah. Yeah. It's just a bit of a shock, really, to find out how many different places I come from.
You're more than just Jay from England, aren't you?
Yeah.
Indeed. So Jay is more than just a boy from England. So to this element, what is important in any story, it doesn't matter whether this is the traditional storytelling, there has to be a solution. So the solution comes and he learns that he is actually the Jay from everywhere, from many European countries. But this is not, if you would say that this is it, actually there is one more element here that is missing. And for this, before I play the very last part of the video, I would like to ask you, who do you think initiated this video? Can you guess? Out of what you have seen from these 3 parts, maybe it is obvious. Just me.
Scientists, I would say.
Scientist, okay. Any other guess? Julia, what would you say? I see that your camera is on. I don't see everyone, but maybe you have an idea already.
Maybe J itself.
J itself? No.
No.
And no, it's actually all these people that you see in the background. in the last part of the video were also part of this experiment. And this experiment
Okay.
was about DNA test, but now
So,
I'm going, yeah, Julia?
no, I was just, I misunderstood maybe the question. So who was the initiating the test? So who was asking for the,
Exactly. So who shot
okay.
the video? Who initiated
Yes.
the shooting was the question. In chat, I see that Anton is guessing that maybe Organization Against Racism, and there was a one like. So maybe let's have a look and resolve this question together.
I'm Jay from everywhere by the reason of this.
So would you like to travel to all of these places?
Turkey and Germany, yeah.
Have a great journey, man.
Well, this is the job.
Momondo.com. Momondo.com is actually a travel site. So the right guess would be that it is making people travel. And if you want to be part of the world, then you have to know it and you have to travel it. And I have particularly chosen this video because I really like this call to action, and it is really coming as a surprise, right? It's a Danish travel site. If you want to check the video, there is the whole this exercise really was about 67 people doing this test, and there are nice stories of people who are from Pakistan, from Turkey, from India, and there is one video compiling all of it, but also every individual has own story to tell, and I really like this, and it really is surprising what comes out of this. But back to Interreg projects, right? I mean, we have learned a bit about what the elements of the good stories are. And we would like to come back to your Interreg project context, because you can say that you will never shoot such an experimental video in your projects, which we don't ask you to do, right? It was just to make the point that you need to have a hook, you need to have a sticky point in this story, and this is what I want to show you also throughout my presentation. So in the project context, what you usually communicate is your project. I picked a project voluntarily. I didn't ask Greta project, but I believe they are happy, or if they are not, I'm sorry, but it's just to use the elements what is publicly available. And we are going to go deeper into this topic of green urban freight transport. Particularly, I have chosen this topic because it's quite easy to understand, I believe, and it affects all of us. So when we were preparing this fact sheet, we have chosen this picture, right? This picture is showing that it does many things in terms of urban transport. There are many means of transport they are tackling. But when I was looking for a picture that depicts just one pilot, which is the cargo bikes, I was actually struggling with finding the right picture. This one is generated, as you see, by AI. I used gamma.ai to create one. If I asked my husband, if I showed this picture to my husband, he asked me straight away, where is this? And if I showed it to our Ivy Gregoria, who is also with us, he was like, oh no, it's AI, because it's the blurred background. So like it or not, in any case, you will be you're looking for some pictures. So there is also a hint how you can go about it. Maybe you can blur completely the background, but some pictures are sometimes hard to get. But my point now is that I have just 2 tips for you on the next 2 slides on how you can maybe phrase the frame of what you talk about the project differently. Because what we usually communicate, and this is now not just Greta, this is also other projects, is that we are saving metric tons of CO2 emissions. I'm staying with this topic. And what we would like to maybe show better is the impact. And what one technique on this slide could be for you, and what we find it very useful, is to use a parallel. So instead of just having a fact that they saved so many and so many tons of emissions, you can say it is equivalent to taking cars off the road. And it makes it more human-centered because I can see also me, because they are taking the cars that I do something better maybe, and that is something that I can imagine. Telling a story is about imagining pictures, and through this equivalent, I can really imagine what it means, these tons. Another example, again, AI-generated pictures, just a random picture. I'm not using it for the story yet, but I was like curious what it can do. And this is exactly what I was looking for when I wanted to show the benefits and to make it even more human-centered. And what you could say about this picture is that this project brought more bikes into the streets, that the cargo bikes are replacing the cargo vans that were blocking the streets. And then we have the nice benefits, and kids can play, and we can shop easily. They are really not blocking our way. So these are my two tips: to use the parallel and to maybe show the real benefits that you offer that are human-centered. And coming to the whole basic Interreg project story structure that you probably know, because in the application you have used the story generator, but we made it even easier this time. So because we believe what is really needed, and you also coming back to the J story, you need to have a context. So you need to know that what is really, who is J, what is his background. Then you have to have a specific challenge. So in this J story, we are actually challenging his nationality, being so proud about being his own nationality, and being have some atrocities with other nationalities. The solution is something that you really develop. And I believe in this part, you are all experts and you do it perfectly well. What maybe is then missing is this: what is this impact? And for this impact and how it works, what steps we did, you could use these two simple techniques that I've showed you, maybe these parallels, maybe showing really the benefits that are human-centered. And what you should never forget is the call to action. This call to action is really on your chosen audiences, or what you want them to do. And for we even go further. So in the past, and with the summary generator, we stopped there. But for this seminar, we were thinking maybe to go an extra mile with you, and to come back to this sticky fact. Because I believe if you already have a text already put down, you can still, you are following the structure, you have the context, you have your challenge, you have your solution, and you have your call to action, but maybe you can adapt the sticky moment on your audience. In the past webinars, we really showed you, Katka showed you also when you did the exercise on personas. So maybe think of someone who you are talking to, underline the sticky fact, and then fine-tune the story again. You can adapt the style. You can also use the generative AI in terms of role playing, that you tell your AI how it should really deal with the situation and how it could refine your stories. And also think about additional material that you will add to this text. Only then maybe you can choose the channel that you want to do. We will be also in the social media part of this webinar. We will hear not only about social media, but also about traditional media. So maybe you have also a mini strategy on what you want to do. We are also not saying that everyone has to go to social media, because you have to also consider your limited duration of your project and your budget available. For many though, the social media is fitting, but I'm giving you also a hint that you can also even ask your AI again to find a mini strategy for you if you tell already the fact that you have this and this duration and this budget. And then again, if you choose one channel, maybe there is another channel. If you find this particular fact not good enough, you can start from scratch. You can define more personas and see how this text develops. What is always remember that everything what comes out of AI is maybe not to take as such. Maybe the 20%, maybe AI does 80% for you, but you start with a very good prompt. This is important. And at the end, you have to have a final look, to have your final touch. And yeah, this is already about what I wanted to tell you in this quick look into the storytelling and why we think it is important. And for the exercise, we thought to put you into breakout rooms and to use Greta again. Greta, so the project summary is the part of the fact sheets. You all know the fact sheets. In the chat, there will be a link where you can access this fact sheet and you can read the summary. What I would like you to do and to test with your colleagues in a breakout room is to choose just one specific audience and adapt the project summary. Okay, I have the examples. Maybe it is the city hall officers responsible for energy office, maybe it's a politician, maybe it's a regional energy agency. Be very specific maybe about who you want to pitch your idea to or your solution. You can even go deeper and do it like this. Then you will see that the text where the project summary is starting, and this is actually a case for every project summary we prepared for you, is starting with the context and challenge. So maybe you need to make it more specific because these challenges are quite general and made fit your project summary and your overall project only. But maybe in this one, you can really think about these cargo bikes because these cargo bikes are one element that they are working on. So I would like you to work on the first statement that really grabs the attention, identifying one sticky fact and fine-tuning the story. Okay, maybe this paste and copy for final check. Maybe this we'll have not enough time, but it's already good if you are thinking together on how to modify the story for your audience. Okay, maybe I stop sharing here and I look into the round whether there are any questions on the exercise that we have. Or you might have even questions to what was presented so far. And if this is not the case, I would like to give a signal that we are opening the breakout rooms. They will be randomized, so you will be joined by a colleague. Maybe you know, maybe you don't know. And I will see you back in the plenary in around 15 minutes. And it would be really, really nice if you could share then with us what your result was and what was the learning, really, what you maybe learned. Maybe someone is using the method that you have not known so far. So this is the idea, that you really share how you would approach to adapt the story for your specific audience. Have you discussed, Mattea, Sofia, Remy, Levente? I guess you were all together.
Yeah, we were.
Do you have a good result you're happy with?
Yeah, we are happy. It's much more it's clearer, it's shorter, it's much more understandable in my opinion.
And who was your audience? Who have you picked?
We picked mayors of other middle-sized European cities that we want to promote this project to, so they implement it in their cities also.
I see another group is coming back. So Matea
Yes,
already
we are.
reported that they have chosen the mayors and they fine-tune the story. What about you, Alice? I see your mic is open.
Yes, we decided to focus on local decision makers in the end. So public administration, I would say those working on the transport policies.
Mm-hmm.
And we found some interesting data.
Super. Great. Let me check whether everyone is now back. Yeah,
I
it looks
think
good.
so, Dani, 39 people.
39 participants, indeed. So anyone else? We already heard that there were mayors of other cities. There were stakeholders that were chosen to fine-tune the stories. Yasmin?
Yeah, we chose citizens actually. It's the tricky one. So normal citizens with simpler wording so that they can understand the project.
And what was your sticky fact, if I may ask?
I can read it. It's a very short one, relatively. We started with a question, which is actually, did you know that delivery vehicles cause nearly half of the air pollution in cities? And then we explained with more online shopping, our streets are getting noisier, more polluted and overcrowded. And the Greta project, now like the project itself, is finding simple ways to get packages from A to B without harming the environment. This is like very simple analogy so that they can get the gist of the project. And then we explained by using zero emission vehicles like cargo bikes and smarter ways to manage city spaces, Greta is creating cleaner, quieter neighborhoods. And then the call to action is let's imagine cities where deliveries are part of the solution, not the problem. A future with fresh air and streets made for people. And that is.
Bravo, Nika. Klicali ste me, Domnova.
Nika, can we ask you to
javni stroje.
mute your mic?
Ja, kdaj bi lahko?
Okay, I muted Nika because this was a conversation related. Okay, super.
Hvala.
Thank you very much.
Tretja, čist gorje.
Can anyone else would like to join with the result of the exercise? Super, but I believe that you got the point that it's not only about using AI, but it's also about in general, but also how you prompt. So when I was doing and preparing for this exercise, I just quickly share it with you. You will have it in your documentation of the meeting. I have also chosen mayors, and I was also choosing to make it human-centered. I've chosen kids. So what then I was working on was a story that would be ticking with the mayors and taking the sticky fact as imagine this. So the start, the question, it's an option as Yasmin was presenting, but also the really important is also the start, and to have this image of children that are there. Then the online shopping, I also told the AI to be more precise on what is really the decline to make it more clearer. Followed by the pilot. And you see that in the fourth paragraph, I tried to be even use the very short sentence. And the results are transformative. So it's also a matter of words that you've chosen, and a combination of short sentences might work very well, depending on who you are talking to. And then in the end, I even asked the AI to go a bit broader and to define like a broader vision of what is really. And your vision in our projects, in our program, is also cooperation. So cooperation should be not forgotten when you are talking about your projects, for sure. Okay, so this is basically it for the storytelling. We lost a couple of minutes, but I believe that we will have still time to thoroughly go through social media. Especially, we have invited a few guests, as I was mentioning, from the project. And here I would like to show you just a few slides on why again. I mean, the why, I believe, is obvious. Users of internet worldwide, this is actually a statistic from April 2024, as you can see, done by Meltwater, and I usually get this from Hootsuite, and they really say that we are spending nearly 14% of our time when we are awake in social media, on social media. 2 hours and 20 minutes, if you take into account, it's really a lot. And nearly everyone, so 93.3% of the users of internet are also users of social media. So people are there. If you are clever about it, how you work with this, you have a very good chance to reach them, is the message. And here I would like to talk about is a few things that we have noticed. And after we have this presentation of invited guests. So the first one that I would like to mention is interactivity and human touch. For this, I have used the example of Reinforce project. Many of your projects do when you are at the same level that you start the presentation of your partners. This is also the way that Reinforced used. But what they also went for is to show real people. So not maybe just the institution, but to really show who this is. And the human touch is really something what you can feel from their posts. And the platform, if you are asking which they choose, they actually went for LinkedIn. So even LinkedIn can survive a content that is not super business related. It can survive very personal content too. This was actually what I found. When checking some of and scanning some of your accounts. And what we have next is a strong LinkedIn follower base. Here at LinkedIn, the absolute winning project in terms of how many people they have managed to reach. From the first call, they have started earlier than you in a second call, but they reached 563 people already at LinkedIn. I know it is not just about the numbers, it's also about the relevant people. And I've been talking about this also to agri-digital growth colleagues, that they have a basis of followers coming from the previous projects and taking over this LinkedIn page. But here I really would like to see from Zsofia Kocsis on what is their strategy. How do they do it? So Zsofia, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here. Hello.
Super. So I give over to you, and I will click for your presentation. Let me know if everything, yeah. So the floor is yours, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Hello, everyone. My name is Zsofia Kocsis. I'm from Pannon Business Network Association from Hungary, and I'm responsible for the communication workflow of the Smart Circuit project. And within the couple of minutes, I would like to present you how we do this, how we reach this kind of number of followers. We have 3 kind of social media platforms: LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And as you can see, LinkedIn has been the most successful one. We currently have 563 followers, and over the past year, our posts have generated more than 37,000 impressions. our Twitter page, we communicate it in the same way as on LinkedIn, but as you can see, it's not as successful as LinkedIn. This may be because not all our partners are active here, and Twitter is less popular in Europe than in the USA. As a result, both of our followers as a result of this, the followers and the impression number is much lower than in LinkedIn. And of course, we have YouTube, which can help us to store our videos and provide link to communicate them. But of course, unfortunately, the number of subscribers isn't growing significantly either. However, this platform, as I mentioned, is great because we can share this link to our videos everywhere in LinkedIn and in also in articles. What is important to us to provide the partners some kind of feedback about the results and the success of our posts. We collect our posts in an Excel spreadsheet and we manually record the reach at the end of each month. This makes it easy to track the reviews of the performance in each type of post. This can help us to categorize the successfulness of our posts, such as videos, images with people, or just design the pictures. Do we need to provide more text or not? So we can really measure the successfulness of our posts. And of course, in the website, the project website provides us a huge help during our communication. With the help of it, we can provide more detailed information about our results. After the completion, for example, a professional analysis, we publish a detailed article here and provide the final analysis also with the help of media materials section of the web page. And then we can create a shorter summary-based posts, which can help us to communicate with our followers. The next slide, please, Dana. For us, there are 3 key elements for increasing our follower base and reach in our projects. First, we make sure that only communicate posts related to the project topic, ensuring our credibility. Additionally, we pay close attention to how we write our texts. We avoid using project-specific jargons. For example, we never refer to deliverable numbers or output numbers. And we avoid using acronyms. For example, LP is for us is clear the meaning of it, but for others it's not as clear. So we avoid using this one. And furthermore, we always tag the relevant institutions. We also tag all our project partners in each and every post. And we found that it is helpful, ensuring that all partners institutions are notified of our posts really quickly, allowing them to share the posts still when it is relevant. The next slide, please. What is the huge success for us is that we created a lot of video content in our communication with the help of our partners. We shared short videos from experts, companies, and policymakers in this topic. The videos don't need to be professional in an online call, recorded, or just with the help of a cell phone. We had a nice intro and outro, and when necessary, we provided English subtitle. And as you can see, over the past years, these videos have a great viewership and reach because everybody is curious about their video, and then the company shared the video, and then the person who is in the video shared again, and then their friends and everybody shared again these videos. So, and thanks to these videos, the number of followers also increased. Yes, the next slide. Yeah, this is the infographics. We also support the partners to communicate about effectively and easily understandable way for our professional results. For example, we created an analysis about 60 interviews, and we know that not everybody reads through 30 and 40 pages. That is the reason why we created a supporting infograph and kind of an email which the partners can send out to their stakeholders, which is summarize and easily understandable way the analysis, and then provide an infograph with the key facts and figures related to this interview series. And then, of course, if somebody is interested for the whole analysis, they can check it in our webpage. In the creation of infographics and all types of content, we receive great help from working together with the responsible partner when designing the related templates. This way, we can ensure that during the collection of input from the partners, we are receiving kind of communication inputs which are help us to create this kind of infographics. The next one. I know this is not a supporting material, but still we also ensure the in-time communication about every event which we organize. Our rule is that 2 months before the event, we send out a communication package to our partners, including an invitation email, an event description, some suggested posts, and supporting images and short videos. The timely communication about the events generate more reach. We also ensure that we communicate on the event day, showing what is happening there. After promoting it for 2 months, I think it's necessary to promote on the day of the event also. It is usually a very successful post because the attendees and the speakers will reshare these posts. And of course, we don't forget to post a thank you or a summary post after the event. In this, we can mention the number of participants and highlight the important key takeaways, demonstrating how the event is contributed to our work. These kind of posts are really successful because we had a meeting in Genoa in April, and after this whole communication campaign related to this event, after the event, our follower numbers increased 30 new followers, and this thanks to the speakers. We checked the type of the followers, and they mostly the speakers on this event and the external stakeholders who invited to this event, and they are also started to follow us. And I think that's all from my side. Thank you for
Thank you very much,
here.
Zsofia. Indeed, it is interesting to see how you approached it. I hope you are also open to questions. So if everyone
Yes, of course.
has a question, put it in the chat or just open your mic. But I would be interested then, you mentioned X or Twitter at the beginning. What is then your plan? Do you want to revisit it? Do you think is the future will hold, that you will stay there? How do you want to cater these channels specifically?
It's just that our focus is shifted to really on LinkedIn, because all the partners are available in LinkedIn. Interreg Central Europe program available in LinkedIn. When we are using this tagging solution in LinkedIn, we can reach more partners and more stakeholders in that way. Unfortunately, on Twitter, I think 1 or 2 partners are available, so it's not relevant for us there to use that one. We still posting the events there, because who knows who will see our events if we have online option also to join. But the main focus for us it's LinkedIn.
Thank you. Thank you, Zsofia. Are there any more questions? if this is not the case, let me maybe come back to the presentation. And we have heard a bit about the human touch. We had heard about how Smart Secret project is approaching the LinkedIn. The thing is also that we see many of our projects at LinkedIn, and we also believe that our program is doing the job at the LinkedIn most, and that we have a good followership, and that it's really picking up. We even abandoned X or Twitter. So we are basically using Meta because you can run good campaigns there, and this is and we have resources to run through channels. Even sometimes the content is very similar or even the same. I say it simply openly because then sometimes you just don't have time to really approach this. But we make our content also more LinkedIn ready. And Zsofia nicely mentioned also the multipliers and tagging. And here I would just quickly like to stop for a minute, because I have seen, we maybe have colleagues from Super B project with us. They have a very, very active LinkedIn lead partner, I believe, Ahmed Koya, who is actually then not only resharing what the project does, but also what his university is doing. So I believe at his university they produce, this is a LinkedIn post about the publication they produce that mentions the project of Interreg Central Europe, and he is resharing it with own thoughts, again with tagging. So the tagging is definitely important. We also do it for our regular posts. What I was thinking might be a help is for you is also to tag each other if you want to gain more interests, specifically if you tag projects that are working on a similar topic and field. We are talking synergies, so maybe this is also an option how you can do it. Definitely tag us in your posts, because then it's easy to see it, and it helps us also to interact with the post more quickly and easily. So this is a thing as a documentation of the seminar, of the webinar. I thought maybe it's good that you have a list of the LinkedIn profile. So in the registration, you were asked to leave them there. We can easily just share the link with the project name and the link to the respective social media. So this is definitely a service we can do, but maybe watch out for other peers. Use this strategy to look for who is a friend of who is connected with whom, and eventually look for a relevant audience would be also my tip on how to approach it. But let's move to another aspect of social media that we have noticed. And this is about the structure of the content, or the visual side of the content that our projects are using. And we have noticed that OPTI-UP has a uniform look of the visuals throughout all the platforms. So here I would like to give the floor to Mateja Puhalo-Matica. I believe, Mateja, you are with us. Is this the case?
Yes.
Super. Hello, Mateja.
Hello. Hello, and thank you, Dana, for introduction.
And the floor is yours. I simply click your first slide.
Yes, great. Thank you. So as Dana mentioned, my name is Mateja, and I am a communication manager on the OPTI-UP project. And I would like to share how we do things, basically focused on the visual consistency of our visuals that we actually do on all our channels that we are using. So first of all, I would like just to quickly go through whys, because whys are important, why visual consistency matters. In my opinion, when you have visual consistency over the channels, it actually builds a brand recognition. So it takes time to build it, but with time, people are noticing this visual consistency, that all your visuals are looking kind of the same, and they make the connection. Oh, this is OPTI-UP. This is your brand. So this is a way of building brand awareness and brand recognition, because audiences then will easily identify your posts when they're scrolling. Another thing that I think visual consistency brings are the professionalism and credibility feel they are providing for the posts. Because when you have a consistent visual style, it shows that you are professional about it. It shows your attention to details, and I think that enhances the credibility and trustworthiness of your project. At the start of the presentation, then showed we are actually entered the era of fake news and fake videos and fake anything. So anything that can build the credibility will help. Of course, you can also fake the logo and the templates and everything, but it's much lower chance that will happen. And as the last thing, no, can you please go back? Ken? And also message clarity. So when you are using visuals that have headlines or main message on the visual, I think it brings more attention to the audience, to the people, and also the message is more clear and more understandable. So the other part of this slide shows what I think are the elements of visual consistency. So those elements are the things that we have let's say, set up at the start of the project as a part of the template. So we are taking care that there is always a logo, and there is unified logo position and logo size. So each, for example, let's take LinkedIn. Each of our LinkedIn posts will always have logo on the same position and on the same size of the visual. We are also taking care of the typography. So so we are at the start, we have defined how which font we are going to use, where it will be positioned, and in which size it will be. Of course, when we were creating the templates at the start, we had to do some experimenting with the length of the headline, so that you don't lock yourself with too short headlines. So we run a few tests and examples of how the headlines could be long. And then we set up with the size of the headline of the typography that will work for most of the cases. Then imagine images that you are using. It's for me, I think it's very crucial to use high quality images. That is not that's hard now, because there is a lot of stock services that you can use for the images, even if you don't have your authentic ones. However, I always think that if you have a good quality authentic images, so if from the partners, from the I don't know, meetings, anything, it brings again more credibility and more authenticism. And it's in my opinion, is always a better pick than the stock ones. And also, if you don't have any images, then it's always good to use graphics or icons, because they are also here to give the better understanding, to, I don't know, split the visually message, and to make it more understandable to the audience. Okay, so on the next slide, I would like to show how these templates work and how we are trying to gain the visual consistency over the different channels. So OPTI-UP is using LinkedIn as the main social media channel, and we are not using any other. We, of course, have a website, and we have newly opened our YouTube profile. So we have templates for LinkedIn visuals, and here are the examples of two visuals. You can see that typography is the same, logotypes are the same, colors are the same. We also like to use these circles in the top corner that you can see. I think it's a graphic element that's specific for the project that makes this like branding, because if you hide this and logo, it could be a visual of anyone and anything. And this is also, this graphic element is the key element that is connecting all the visuals. Because, for example, on the website, this is a hero image for the website, where you are not having the logotype, because the web itself has the logotype and you don't have a typography. So these graphic elements, these circuits, are the connecting element of all the visuals. And on the left side of the screen, you can see the thumbnail examples we have for our YouTube videos. I think a small digression, it's very important to use custom thumbnails when you are uploading YouTube videos, because on recommendations page and suggestions, then you can have this branding of the project. Otherwise, YouTube we just randomly pick any screen from the video, and it's not as impactful as when you have a custom thumbnail. Okay, and we can move to the yeah, we also wanted to share a bit how our work process work, and then you can maybe share yours if you have better examples. We have communication plan in which we have defined channels, activities, target groups, and high-level messages that we are planning to communicate in each period of the project. So basically, we are following the communication plan. It's important to say that we are seeing this communication plan as a living being, because, of course, at the start of the project, there is a lot of uncertainties, how the project will go and what will happen. So it's high level, and on the go, we are actually changing it, polishing it, and making it more detailed. So according to the communication plan, when there is time or we have materials to post something, we are starting with the content and design process. It varies who does what. We have two partners on the project that are responsible for the communication, so we work in pairs. With time, it showed us that the colleague from another partner is better at writing content, and I'm better at doing the visuals. So we mostly cooperate that way. Sometimes we are also using AI. For example, when we have I don't know, documents with reports, or I have a report, the 10 pages report. It's easier for AI to write a summary and to extract the content for the LinkedIn or web content, and then you just polish it. It really pops up the efficiency. When preparing a design, we are also using some of the softwares I listed down. We are using Adobe and Figma. Figma also has a free version, and it's really, I think it's really easy to learn. So in Figma, we have the templates for our posts, and basically those templates work in a way that you don't need a designer for each post. So normally even a content creator could just switch the image in the template and change the headline, and you have a new visual for new post. We are also using stock services. For example, Shutterstock we are using mostly for images, Flaticon for icons. There are also some other stock services like Pexels, Unsplash that are free. So maybe those are better choice for someone. To go back on the work process, I lost the presentation, Dana. When we are done with the preparing content and design, we are making a review with our technical team, because I'm not technical about the transportation topic that my project is about, and I need a technical team to just review that I didn't write anything that's not okay. And after they review it, we publish it. I would also just to enhance the importance of analytics. LinkedIn has analytics part where you can check the reports, analytics of how your post and your page is working. And I think it's a very important tool that you track your followers, what goes, what works, what doesn't work, and so on. It's really crucial to analyze the analytics to make decisions for the future plans. That's it for me.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Matieja. You touched on very important points about how to prepare the design, how to work together, how you work with the analytics. Maybe someone wants to share how he or she are doing this particular job in social media, or maybe someone has a question for Matieja. So it seems like many people are following example. And I would be interested if you say that you have a team working on this preparation of social media. Is it always smooth, or how long does it take if you have an idea of, okay, I have a content because this is a milestone, this is an event. You have a template that you have to use, which is like the imagery and all the template stuff that you want. And you need a text. And for this text, you said that you are having a support of other colleagues. So how long does it take? Is it not hindering you in being flexible? How would you see this?
I think it's smooth now because we have a work process that it's set up, and at the start, I wouldn't say it was bumpy, but we had to learn to work with with each other and to find a pattern that works for us. So now I think it goes really smooth. There wasn't need for us to be very prompt with posts, so there wasn't need that we prepare something and publish in 2 hours. We didn't have emergencies like this, so normally we have longer deadlines, and it's okay for us to have I don't know, 1, 2, or 3 days period from creating a post, reviewing it, and then publishing. It's okay. You know, in some cases that might be too long, but for us it worked because we didn't have these situations so far.
And that if you mention this is actually also interesting because it's you have to be there, and you have to be there quite regular. So what is your plan when you are now half a year through your project? Have you thought about the regularity on how often you to post at LinkedIn?
Yeah, we had a different approach in the first 6 months of the project, and then we are planning to have in the next 6 months, because at the start of the project we didn't have really any concrete materials that we could share. So mainly we were sharing when we had materials, if we had site visits or stuff like that. But now when the period 1 is done, we have a report that is full of very fun information that I think are great for social media. So we are for the next period, we are now planning and working on the concrete content plan that will have a regular posts that will actually communicate all the facts and the info that report has found out. And it will be a great content for the next 6 period when the partners will be working on the pilots. We have a good materials to share on the social media in meantime.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Someone else who would like to share or has a question for Matieja? Doesn't seem to be the case. So if this is it, let me share my screen again with the presentation, and with the last example that I wanted to show you is, and this is why the social media is in brackets, because we have less experience with the traditional media in Vienna. We are basically an umbrella, a collection of many good projects that we finance. but you yourself and your partners have local pilots, you have local touch, you have a nice story to tell that are actually going local and they are interesting for traditional media. And the first call project, SUSTANCE, was very successful to communicate their pilot in the traditional media, and this is a new train connection. And I hope I can now hand over the floor to Zrinka Marchioli from the SUSTANCE project. Zrinka, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Super, nice to see you finally, great. So let me share your presentation and tell us more about how it went for SUSTANCE project.
So, hi everyone, and thank you, Dana, for the introduction. Again, my name is Rinka, and I'm the communication coordinator for the SUSTANCE project. So we deal with sustainable public transport, and I will say a couple of words about the promotion of one of our pilots. And I will start from the end and then tell you how we got there. So this is really a story about our successful communication, and I will not be modest because you'll see what we achieved. But if I had to summarize it, I would say that the communication was successful because the pilot was interesting, really. And because the pilot was interesting, many important stakeholders attended our event. And because many important stakeholders attended, the media was also interested. And because the media was interested, the visibility was enormous, and we think it was a great success. But let's put things in context, step by step. So what did we do as one of the activities first? So we introduced a new direct cross-border railway connection. It was a seasonal train connecting Villa Opicina, it's near Trieste in Italy, via Divača and Pivka in Slovenia, to the city of Rijeka in Croatia. So on the screen is a map for those of you who are not familiar with the area. The service was operational from April to September this summer, with discounted tickets, possibility to transport bicycles, and it was managed by Slovenian Railways with their multi-system train, in cooperation with Croatian Railways for Croatia, of course, and the Central European Initiative as the lead partner of our project, representing Italy. With their stakeholders, Friuli Venezia Giulia region, and Trenitalia, so Italian Railways, also as associated partner. Next, please. The communication example I'm to talk about now is related to the launch event for the service, which was organized on the first day of operation. It was in April. There were actually two, or some say three, events. First was in Villa Opicina, the starting point of the train, with inauguration, institutional speeches, and ceremonial cutting of the ribbon. And this was the shortest part because it was early and the train departed at a certain hour, so everything had to be done really quickly. The second was on board the train. The second part of the event, since the ride took 2 hours and there was singing and dancing and eating and drinking, and that was maybe the most fun part of the event, I think. And also media had a chance to talk with stakeholders and passengers in the train. All the media, of course, had free tickets. And the third part was welcoming the train in Rijeka on the station and joint press conference. And it was a really eventful morning, and it took a lot of planning and coordination, I must admit. And maybe to tell you something about the things we did. So we planned a joint dissemination, so in all 3 countries together. We identified key stakeholders for each region, also we did it together. We involved influencers. We involved local communities along the route, so mayors, NGOs, musicians, associations, etc. We aimed rather high when sending the invites for the pilot launch event, both for attendees, which were mostly stakeholder and policymakers, but also for the media. But each of us also adapted the message a bit depending on the institutional situation, media, or the context. So we also had a teaser campaign on social media, and we posted during the event and had partners repost. And what were the results of that? So we had a high attendance rate at all levels. So EU program, national ministries, and further on down. And we were featured in local, regional, national, even international media, printed, online, TV, radio, whatever you want. We were everywhere. So I think I can say that the communication was successful, right? And how did it happen? So I think there are a couple of reasons. Lots of work, of course, and a bit of luck. Sometimes you need luck. But in my opinion, the first thing was to have a good, or could be interesting, service. So we'd also had a couple of things going for us, like the railway is the greenest public transportation mode. Then European Union is supporting the new railway renaissance because of that. Then the service was transnational, going not just cross-border, but through 3 countries. Then the vicinity of Trieste airport opened lots of possibilities, and so on and so on. But here are just some more prominent examples, maybe which make us proud. So we had news in different languages. We had features on national televisions. We had articles in national newspapers. And on the next slide, you can see the ones such as the articles in Times, The Sun, and on European Commission's website, Radio Flash newsletter, and so on. So now that I'm talking about this, it all seems very simple and logical, but it took a lot of work, cooperation and coordination. Also, since we are talking about storytelling and social media today, I think although we didn't focus on social media, we managed to have a good outreach. Since we had a great reach in all other media, social media just kind of picked up on it. And it really is like they say, if you build it, they will come. So it's actually a misquotation from one Kevin Costner movie. But he says he will come, not they, but the phrase has become a popular reference. So I also use it here as a metaphor to just explain the idea that if you create something that people want or need, that they will come to you instead of you having to seek them out. So by creating something valuable, as the service we did, we attracted the media attention with minimal budget just to organize the events. So this was our story, and that's it from me. And I thank you for putting up with my bragging, and hope that you take away something that can maybe help you in your work.
Zrinka, excellent. Thank you very much. Yeah, impressive. It was really, really very great outreach that you managed. Before I leave the floor maybe to others to ask questions, I would be curious because you were saying that you were adapting the message a bit for social media. So as we are talking more about social media, so what was really the mini strategy you had for social media, and how do you differentiate this content that goes to traditional one and social media?
It depends on each activity we make, but our approach to social media is from 2 levels. So the partner level and the project level. I'm the project level, let's say. And I mean, can you imagine that media is waiting in line when the project is just starting? Of course not. But when institutions who have established social media release some news, it's more likely to be seen. So I encourage and push partners to promote their activity via their existing institutional channels, because after all, they are doing something good and it's in their interest to talk about it. And I promote the activities via project channels, but we know that projects have a short lifetime and it takes time to build a network, as we heard. And this is why the partners are also encouraged to share what I post, both via their institutional channels, in addition to what they publish, and via their private profiles also. It's mostly on LinkedIn, but it also has good results. And traditional media comes in when public relations are included in the picture. So if you have one relevant media talking about you, most of them will follow. So because they will convey the news, especially if you have, for example, national news agency publishing something. So in this way, you can provide a service and details about it, and journalists then create the content and share it instead of you. And so sometimes social media picks up on the traditional media, and sometimes it's the other way around. But in our case, we kind of did both. So we created interest via social media. Traditional media pumped it up after the event, and then social media again picked up on that.
Very good recipe. I hope it is also inspiring for others. Maybe you have questions to Zrinka specifically. Yes, Yasmin, please go ahead.
Thank you so much, Zrinka, first of all, for this excellent presentation. It was very insightful indeed. My question to you is, how do you, in general, ensure that pilot partners reach out to local media? Like they commit to reaching out to their local media, especially pilot partners in particular. Do you, like in general, do you prepare a press dossier, a media toolkit for them to share, or you send reminders? What are the best practices, let's say?
Okay, it's a difficult question, and I know the situation you are in. Usually, but I do not force them, of course. I'm always telling them each time we meet and in my emails that they are to communicate what they are doing because it's good for them. That not to forget the project, but their institution is doing something. They are in a project, but their institution is actually doing something. So they can promote both the project and both their activities. And I'm also telling them that if they did something and nobody knows about it, that then it's like they didn't do it. So maybe I'm brainwashing them a little bit each time we meet, maybe. But I'm not preparing anything for them because I don't know their situation. I can prepare it only in English, so they have to do it in their own national language. And they know what works for them, what the media will publish when they send it to them. So I can make some kind of text that will not work. So it's up to them. I'm just telling them, do it, do it, do it.
Great. And do it with passion. Giuseppe would like to ask a question.
Yeah, I'm a bit old school. I used to be a journalist. So what I do in this case is I prepare kind of a half-cooked press release in English, which basically contains the main elements of the news, and then it leaves space for customization from towards the local media. So for instance, I recommend that there should be a statement by one of the partners that is issuing that press release. So someone from the local organization saying, something about the project. So it is not ready to be sent. It couldn't be sent because of course I do it in English, but it's like a basis that can rework a bit. Now, it's difficult to do the follow-up because the flow gets a bit dispersed. You don't always get to know who has published what. It depends also on how partners are committed to do this. But this is something we're doing. So it's usually short and customizable, so to say.
Thank you. Thank you for the comment. We do this also for example, joint events. For this event we prepared joint communication and adapted it. So, but for some activities that are on local level, or let's say we have some stakeholder consultations that we leave to the partners. Just for the joint international events and activities, this is what we prepare together. and adapt.
Excellent. Thank you. So the initial idea to send you to breakout rooms was actually now, but I believe we've done this little conversation in this big room. So let me just share my slide the one last time, and to spend a few words about our experience I wanted to share with you, and what we do with the insights, and how we work with that. So actually it's very much in line what the previous speaker said. We have an Excel sheet. There was a mention of Zsofia, I believe, that they plan in an Excel sheet. So if you have an Excel sheet with specific days of the year, we try to post and link also the post to the special days there might be. So there are many special days, and you can simply tweak or twist your content towards those. We keep track on those. As you can see that we have we follow the insights of LinkedIn. So the advantage, and here I want to underline it again, of the LinkedIn company page, not the profile, the personal profile, is that there are statistics coming with that. You can really check who your audience is. And in these graphs, you will see that I have a peak. And can you guess what is the peak? Obviously, you can see it. It's the paid campaign. So we have tried both. From Meta, we already have more of experience with running ads. With the LinkedIn account, it was a first pilot or the experiment. I'm gonna show you the results of what we did, but before I do it, I was interested whether you have been using the paid campaigns in your project so far, or do you plan to use them in the future? So I see a no for people. You can also just open your mic if you want to share something more. I see it's now 50-50. So some people have used them, some people or plan to use them, some people not. Be aware that it is a really nice tool, and that you can really target. And we are all the time talking about making the story fit for your audience. And with the Meta and with paid campaigns, you actually have a tool at hand that helps you target the people that you really want to reach. And for this, Uppsala, I wanted to show you just very quickly, maybe you were aware that we had a call open. Our third call was very specific. It was targeting peripheral and lagging areas. And we wanted to really increase awareness about the call that it's there. If you are planning your campaigns in any platforms, the template of the campaign in the backend actually forces you to think in terms of objectives. So the objective was to click on the link. Sometimes you have a specific objective that is watching the video. Sometimes it's about the views that you want to have. So here we define really that we want people to find out about the call on our webpage, because we had a sub-page devoted to the third call. And in this meta targeting, we went for some regions. So we really defined the regions. So it was the territories. It was the demography. So you can really select people who you would like to reach, and also according to the interests. In a LinkedIn targeting, the focus was actually on on all countries. In the first one, it was just the 5 countries that we had. There you are kind of limited with the industries that you have. So, and we always heard like, LinkedIn I don't know, or I don't use it, or it's too expensive. So let's have a look how we did in the Meta campaign. So it means Facebook and Instagram all together. The campaign ran for 4 weeks, and we managed to reach 460,000 people, creating 30,000 links, and then the costs. If I would ask you how much you pay maybe for a advertisement in a local newspaper or in Politico, it's completely different figures. And if you compare the analytics of how many people really see and read the article, here the figures are enormously good in terms of how much you spend for the result. So the cost per click was around 12 to 45 cents. And for the LinkedIn campaigns, the first pilot kind of also confirmed that it is harder and it is more expensive to do it. But it definitely makes sense if you have, I believe, a little bit of information, if you have the specific audience that you already have. I know that OPTI-UP is now even going for a newsletter through LinkedIn. So there are many tools at LinkedIn that are worth exploring. And the costs were around €2.5. I mean, it's difference. There's a huge difference to the sense that I showed you with the Meta, but still, it's if you compare it with the Politico or other traditional media and paid advertisement, it's really a huge difference. So super good to encourage you using the social media postings and even paying for it, because sometimes it also proves that your algorithm is more generous to you if you pay. So it's the business model behind these machines, is the algorithms is then more favorable to you, and you are in the loop. So your post could live longer. Yeah, basically. So we are slowly coming to an end. So I have already opened the Slido about what do you think it's the long-lasting channel or the platform that will be there. It's a huge debate. I mean, we never know what's coming next, right? Who would think that the TikTok will exist a few years ago, and there it is, and doing very great numbers. Nevertheless, it comes with pros and cons, and I can see that people are already using our Slido. Something new, yeah, maybe. Instagram and LinkedIn, I see many times. LinkedIn, so people are focused on LinkedIn. Let's see. I mean, there's really a connection of people who are business related. So we will see how this is going to end up. And yeah, hope you can decide on the right mix of channels that you have. I think this is an important message we want to share with you, and that what is actually maybe not that explored so far also from our end is the further use of YouTube. I mean, I know that many of you have opened YouTube accounts, and we use it also, as Matea was mentioning, with the right thumbnail, with the right playlist. You can really play around the content and to have kind of nice library. But maybe it's also worth to try shorts. Maybe Zsofia has an experience with the YouTube shorts, and also with the postings. So this is definitely worth to really know your platform, would be here my message, and to create the ready-made content, always having your audience in mind. So if you have started already, like OPTI-UP did, maybe check who is your subscriber, maybe check and cross-post, use the cross-posting between your channels. That is definitely recommendable for you. Okay, at this stage, I think I will stop sharing, and I will look into the room whether there is some burning question. from anyone. Whether we are all good. Yes, we are 8 minutes a bit delayed, but I believe that we were able to inspire you with our content on how you can maybe go further with your communications in your projects. And I would have more slides to show you, but I will now decide to go just for the most important ones. And wait a second, so I do not get mixed now. It is that I wanted to give you a hint that when you have done all the work, when you have already when you have done all the work and when you have already involved everyone in your postings, you have been very active in social media. Do not forget that there are also other events, thematic events happening around you in Europe. They are usually very specific. And yeah, wait a second. Here it comes. Here is my slides with the events. So there is a selection of events that you can really make use of. And if you are overwhelmed by your amount of work, I would like to promote here the initiative, the Interreg Volunteer Youth, the IVs reporters. It is not just the Interreg programs can host an IV, but it is also that the projects can host an IV. And you can see that we have a tradition of IVs within our office. Anna, Clara, and Gregorio were or are our IVs. There is also Diana, who is not at the picture, but she has been with us already 5 years ago, and she's working for the Commission. So it's a nice opportunity for young people to have a first experience with the work, but at the same time also help for you in communications. And with this, I really just would like to close with 2 short, or 3 actually, short polls about what is your take-home message. You can write in whether you have a message to take from this webinar, take home with you. And I will tell you a little bit later what it is. So let's wait for people to write. What is your take-home message? We have spoken a lot about storytelling. The storytelling was linked to how we can use these stories for social media. We had peer presentations from projects. You have been crafting a story in the breakout rooms. So, and still the fact was about making it sticky and make it also maybe fun, because social media doesn't have to be dry. You can really work on the content that is going maybe even outside your box, but still with a nice tweak. Yeah, cats, I see. Cats are picking up the message, and cooperation is central. Indeed, this is our hashtag, and this is what we also try to convey, the message that, yeah, it's the institution working together, but it's also people working together. And this is what we, through our funding, make possible uniquely in Central Europe area. This is actually why we exist, and that it is important to keep it. Thank you for this. So it's really nice to see that you have your take-home message, that you have hopefully learned a bit about how the story could work, even for you. I know we probably have to sync it and to think how it really will work in your context. So thank you also for creating the Greta story. You can send me via email so I can use it maybe for the next pilot they will do. Thank you for this. And then, sorry, I have two more slides. One is about the rating. Here, the message is we have now concluded all the three webinars, 3 sessions. I already mentioned that they are recorded, and we always send a feedback with them. So we would definitely like to hear what you want to say. If you want to even reach to us directly, please do not hesitate. Send us an email with your direct feedback with everything what we do. We try to support you in our work and to inspire you to do better and improve your presence and awareness and communications. So a score 4.8 is really great. Thank you for this. 10 people that are there, seems like they liked it a lot. Give us more details maybe in the feedback sheets. If you have something that is missing, I will keep this also for the feedback. And to conclude, yeah, I promised there will be more animals in my presentation. So let me present our office dog. This is Mishka, and it's also a Christmas time. So I wanted to remind you that we thank you very much for your attendance. We thank you very much for your extra mile that you want to go and move to the next level with your communications. Our team is happy to work with you. Together with me, there is Katarina and Frank. Gregorio, we have in the background too. So yes, hello, both of you. Feel free, you see that we are also human. If you have any kind of comments, any kind of ideas on you want to stick out from the crowd, you saw the Excel sheet we are preparing for projects. If you have a specific milestone you want us to communicate more intensively, and you think that our channels are the right ones, because sometimes your project's channel is much more fitting for your message than ours, just reach out, and yeah, we're happy to be with you on it. And we are in the same, and cooperation is central. Bye-bye.
Thank you for following. Merry
Thank you.
Christmas.
Thank you
Merry
so
Christmas.
much.
Bye-bye.
Merry
Thank you.
Christmas. Bye bye.
Bye.
Thank you very
Bye-bye.
much.
Bye. Thank you.